Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight to join with us in our monthly meeting here to discuss the NRP agenda. So again, tonight, we just want to kind of go through a few reminders, open the meeting, and go through some brief announcements. I'll just read real quick about the notice that members of the board may participate remotely by telephone or other electronic means due to the local public health emergency, the coronavirus pandemic declared on March 16, 2020. Pursuant to the provision of the Minnesota Statute, Section 13D.021, a portion of this meeting may be closed to the public pursuant to Minnesota Statute, Section 13D.03 or 13D.05. To join the meeting as a member of the public, you can call at 612-276-6670 and enter conference ID 882-570-735#. This meeting may be recorded. Recordings of public meetings are posted for public access through the City Legislators Information Management System, which is LIMS, available at lims.minneapolis.mn.gov and from the city's YouTube channel. If you participate in public meeting, the information you provide may be classified as public data pursuant to the Minnesota Government Data Practice Act. This includes, but does not limit to the following: your attendance at the meeting, your name, residential address, email or phone number, and other personal contact information, your comments at the meeting, whether formal or during the comment period or otherwise, and any submission you provide before or after the meeting, which are included as part of public records of the meeting. Again, a portion of this meeting may be closed to the public pursuant to the Minnesota Statute, Section 13D.03 or 13D.05. And again, you can look for a reasonable accommodation or alternatives format by contacting our neighborhood and community relations at 612-673-2052 or email ncr@minneapolismn.gov. People who are deaf or hard of hearing can use a relay service to call 311 at 612-673-3000, and TTY users can call 612-263-6850. Again, thank you for joining us tonight, and then we'll just go ahead and do the roll call. And I'll have Stephen to help with that, please.
Great. Thank you, Chair. I mean, that was a lot of words.
Yes.
Please signify by saying aye that you're present as they go down the roll. Commissioners Salah, Reich,
present.
Hassan, Alamin,
Aye.
Green, Torres Ray,
Present.
thank you. Kimmons,
Present.
Wise, Calles Claudio,
Present, guys, Claudia.
thank you. Commissioner Strand.
Present.
Sure, we have a quorum. I believe the chair has frozen. Recognizing Vice Chair Jeff Strand.
Thank you. Momentarily, then I'll, for efficiency's sake, as we've done in the CLIC committee, I wonder if we could take a motion to adopt the agenda and approve the meeting minutes of the last meeting so that we have one roll call instead of two. As I said, we've done that in the CLIC committee multiple times.
Sure.
Would that be in order if there's a motion to do that?
Sure. Would you like to make the said motion?
Well, because I'm chairing, I'll see if there's another member. I see Councilmember Reich wanting to make a motion, I think.
I made
Oh,
the
muted.
motion.
Yeah, he's in second by Calles Claudio. Okay.
Okay.
Any discussion? So the motion to adopt the agenda as proposed and to approve the meeting minutes of April 6, 2021. If there's no discussion, all in favor will have Steve do the roll call vote as required by the city clerk.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and I will go through the roll for the members that are present. Commissioners Wright.
Aye.
Commissioners Torres Ray,
Aye.
Kimmons,
Aye.
Caius Claudio,
Aye.
Strand.
Aye.
Motion passes with the quorum, even with the chair being out for a second.
Thank you. Welcome to guest Carmen, who joined while we were talking about the agenda and minutes. So next item is public comment. Is there anyone attending tonight for public comment of a couple minutes? Seeing none, as soon as the chair returns, I will just move on with the agenda. Neighborhood plan modification history. The policy board members were sent a spreadsheet, and Mr. Gallagher will walk us through that and take a couple of minutes to explain the plan modification approvals since we last
Sure.
met and talked about it.
If you can give me 20 seconds here, I'm going to admit the chair back in. So what you'll see in front of us here is a plan modification approvals. If you remember during our plan modification policy change, a couple of members asked that we show the policy board the approvals that have come through since our last meeting. And you'll notice that this is only good through 5/24, as there's been no other plan modifications except for Central, which is on today's agenda. Roughly the largest one being 121,000 from Corcoran that put in reallocation of program income to administration. And I believe that actually went to the policy. No, it did not go to the policy board. So here are the ones that we're keeping track of, and then we'll continue to track these plan modification approvals and submit them to the policy board going forward. It'll be a standing agenda item for everyone to review. And I'll stand for questions if you might have any.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. I'm not sure what happened with my computer here, but I am back on. So again, if there's any questions, if you can either raise your hand and Steve will try to direct the questions before we move on to the next agenda item.
Commissioner,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Kimmons has her hand raised.
Yes. Hello. These plan modifications are for to do redevelopment of land. Is that what I'm hearing, Steve?
These ones specifically, no, they run quite a few different pieces, anywhere from safety programs to housing programs, and then including administration changes, youth outreach activities, and one was actually funding some tennis courts and having new priorities that way. So they're very general, not specific for all of them, but rather they run the gamut of different things.
Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioner Kimmons.
Thank you. I can't see all the hands, so Steve, so let me know if I'm missing someone. Were there any other questions in regards to agenda item number 5, the neighborhood plan modification history?
Not seeing any other hands.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 6, which is the central neighborhood plan modification. This proposed plan modification will reallocate NRP funds from Phase 1 rollover, Phase 2, and program income from existing housing programs. The reallocation will put funds to use for current staffing needs, and I believe we have a staff member from Can Do that will give us more information. Steve, I'll let you kind of share a little bit on that, please.
Sure. Thank you, Chair Elamine. I do want to recognize that Raya Fine is with us. He is the neighborhood specialist or NCR neighborhood specialist who works with Central Neighborhood. Raya, if you're there and would like to speak, feel free.
Yeah, I'm here, but I'll yield the floor to Carmen. She'll share a little bit just about the reason for the plan mod, and then yeah, any questions myself or for Carmen.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you. Carmen, would you like to walk the policy board through why you're making this request for a plan modification and what engagement strategies you took place to kind of have this go through?
Yes, absolutely. First of all,
Welcome, by the way. Welcome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your time on this evening. I am currently celebrating, went through my second year of being the executive director of Central Neighborhood. With being so, we all know with this money, the history of this money. So it's been waiting for quite some time. Along with everything that has happened within our neighborhood, myself, along with our board, deemed it necessary to move these funds in order to build further infrastructure. Upon coming on in 2019, we had 1 staff and 2 part-time. Our infrastructure, because of the needs of the community, has deeply changed, even pre-George Floyd, I must say. But obviously, post-George Floyd, there are definitely even more needs, has been stated. So with that being said, we've moved the staff from 1 full-time and 2 part-time to now a staff of 5. We now have two full-time and 3 part-time. Along with that, you'll see on here as part of the ask is some of the monies to be used. I will start with our Plant Grow Share program, which is our food justice program. Our food justice program has really operated as a separate entity until recently. But however, they have been doing a lot of amazing work as far as Black and brown people enjoying the ability to be able to grow their own food. They last year have grown over 2,500 pounds worth of food and able to distribute it free of charge. And this year they plan to do even more so. So I'll stop there because that's one of our sweet spots that I'm very, very proud of. We are asking for money to be put there. They have operated mostly on a volunteer base along with the contractual worker. This year has been the first year in which we have a part-time worker and contractual worker. However, in order for that program to continue to grow, we do need to build staffing around that. So that will be some monies that you see that we're asking to be distributed from that way. With the vacant building renovation, you see that we know that within the Minnesota guidelines as well, that we have less than, as it pertains to Black and white home ownership, it is significantly and really dangerously decreased around ownership of Black and brown bodies. And so we wanted to be able to have a space in which we can offer some type of monies around to help with the ownership or incentive programs that can match existing programs. We know that redlining is a real thing and not a new thing when it comes to South Minneapolis. So how do we dissolve the disparities around that to allow people of color to be able to have the tools and the necessary monies that we can put available to that as well? So that's where you see some of that building renovation around. You'll also see the staff support, as I mentioned. In order for us to grow, we have to grow staff support. And so since our neighborhood is madly diverse, we now I want to make sure that our staff absolutely represents not just in the translation of flyers with considering the language in which we are stewarded to be part of, but also making sure that the representation that we have on staff reflect the people that we serve. So we're being very intentional about making sure that we have adequate dollars around staffing as well. So yes, the cost and the ask is a bit aggressive, but it does reflect where Can Do is now. And some of that around as well too is my plan on having someone on staff, probably as a consultant. We're still banking that out with our board. Healing. We are desperately, we're 38th Street, the closing of 38th Street. Our community is torn pretty badly, as you all know. So what does healing look like? And that is the role in which we want to play on the upcoming years to be a place that we cultivate spaces of healing. The route that we went around to ask for this, we did put out an ask and a announcement, if you will, to the community, I believe a month prior to actually announcing it at the board meeting. So we did do the necessary protocol along with that ask. We did have community present there. Unfortunately, I cannot give you the exact number, but I'm sure that our minutes represent or has properly recorded that. And so with that, we did do a vote, and the vote did say yes to this ask. And so, yes, are there any questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. Anything to add, Araya?
No, nothing at this time.
Thank you. Chair?
Not at this time. It does look like Vice Chair has his hand up, so.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, it looks like a very, very coordinated strategies that are very well suited for the time in the community. And I think that I'm wishing you success in achieving the goals, and I'd like to express support for this, and I'll defer to Southside representatives to move the item. I'd be happy to offer a second if someone were to move approval of this item.
I believe our became frozen again. Is there anyone that would like to make a motion to approve the plan modification as presented by Central Neighborhood?
Move approval, Councilman Reich.
I'd like to second it.
I'll second that. It's Queen.
Is Sharon frozen up? Is there any further conversation or discussion, questions? So this is simply reallocating money within the approved plan, Steve, so there's no net loss or gain.
That's
So if
correct.
there's no further questions, motion on adoption of the Central Neighborhood Plan Mod, $459,812.13. Stephen will call the roll.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright.
Aye.
Senator Torres Ray.
Aye.
Commissioner Kimmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Caius Claudio. Commissioner Claudio.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Strand.
Aye.
Thank you. Vice Chair, the motion passes.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looking forward to hearing, reading, and I've been to Can-Do multiple times in my NRP career, so love to visit again once we're at that point of comfortable in-person visiting and safe. Thank you very much for attending virtually.
Thank you.
All right, Carmen, thank you. Thank you for coming. Araya
Thanks, Araya.
will complete the necessary paperwork and we'll move this forward.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Carmen.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. Have a good evening.
You also.
Thank you all. Take care.
Next item 7 is creation of a working group to define geographic boundaries for NRP neighborhood representation. Steve, you want to elaborate?
Sure. Vice Chair, what we're trying to come up with is the boundaries for the election of neighborhood representation within the NRP policy board. Just over a year ago, the city council made changes to the policy board through the neighborhoods 2020 to include additional neighborhood representation. Previous discussion at this meeting, we talked about having needing the census information to come out before we could make proper boundaries for the city for those representation. We believe that the census information down to the neighborhood should be available around mid-August. So bringing it forward to this body in order to see if there's a work group or members that would be interested in helping to define these geographic areas. And I will say, Vice Chair, is that we would like to have this done hopefully by October, the end of October, as so we could advertise for the election coming in February. Hopefully at the
Stephen, thanks, Stephen. We had chatted while we were waiting for everybody to join the meeting, and so I had asked the chair if we were going to take volunteers. I was going to volunteer, but I wonder if this would be to get the most diverse perspectives and include everyone on the policy board. If we could just convene a committee of the whole. You know, committee meeting, not a, I suppose you have to go through the same process probably, but it would be simply a committee of the whole at a convenient time that you could survey some of the other policy board members who sometimes aren't able to attend this meeting time or their alternate. I just wanted to float that idea by the colleagues on the board.
Vice Chair Strand, we could potentially have a meeting. It would still have to go through the LIMS system if we were to have an actual group like this, but we could invite some of the elected official staff to participate if they would like also.
Okay,
Is the chair back in the meeting?
I'm back in now.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
via phone.
oh, good. Then if Sharon's back, Sharon, I'd like to move that as a motion to have a committee of the whole meeting of the NRP policy board to review the potential NRP neighborhood representatives election boundaries.
Second, Elamine.
Commissioner Strand, may I ask a question? Would you like this
Yes.
to be in-person meeting so we could take a look at maps and things like that? Considering we probably have a little bit more of a data that we'd have to kind of go through.
That would be wonderful as a fully vaccinated person. Physical distancing can still be preserved with the appropriate space.
Yeah.
And no one is precluded from wearing a mask. However, would that be after September 30th per the city council action?
Commissioner Strand, we could make this an optional meeting for folks to show up as an informational piece with no action. So then members could voluntarily show up to the meeting. And then
I like that. Are you in the new city building or are you in? No?
Crown Roller.
Oh, so we could meet outside on the Crown Roller Plaza where there'd
could
be less likelihood of any issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yep. I just so I can set that up if the policy board would like.
I see Commissioner Claudio. Maybe the chair can't see, but Commissioner Claudio has her hand raised.
I just have an announcement to make.
Oh.
Now that we are talking about meeting back in person and stuff like that, I'm moving out of Minneapolis.
Oh.
Oh.
So this is my last meeting before I move out.
Okay.
Okay. Noted.
Well, on behalf of NCR and the policy board, I want to thank you very much for serving on this committee and this policy board. It's been a pleasure. I'm sure we all everyone here wishes you the best of luck and stay in touch. Thank you. You've done really good work here and we appreciate it.
And Vice Chair, I cannot see the screen. I
Oh.
am audio only.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, yeah.
I don't mind at all. So if there's no further discussion on the motion that was seconded and properly before us, I'd love to offer another resolution following this when this gets resolved. So I guess Steve will have to call a roll on that motion.
Commissioner Reich,
Aye.
Commissioner Elamine,
Aye.
Torres Ray,
Aye.
Simmons,
Aye.
Calles Claudio,
Aye.
and Strand.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Motion adopted. Thank you. I'd like to take the liberty to move a resolution, a sense of the policy board, to thank Commissioner Christy Calles Claudio for her service on the NRP Policy Board and the Neighborhood and Community Engagement Commission, and to express our thanks for her service and best wishes for her future endeavors. Could we do that by unanimous consent if there's no?
Yes.
Yes.
I see Commissioner Calles Claudio has her hand raised.
It was for before, sorry.
Okay. All right, so with no objection, unanimous consent. And I think I've run out to the end of my agenda. Madam Chair, we're at the adjournment point. So we've completed our agenda, and so normally I think we can just say the meeting would be adjourned at 5:31 p.m. having concluded the business at hand, unless there's any other comments or announcements.
Thank you again. I apologize for the technical issues that I've been having. So I look forward to coming back in person. But no, I don't have any other information. I'm not sure, Steve, if you have any other information that needed to be shared.
Chair, Vice Chair, I don't have any at all. I think we wanted to have this be a quick July meeting. I think we accomplished that.
Thanks, Stephen, for your support and efficient meeting, and thank you, members, and have a great rest of your evening and summer.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Good night, everyone.
Good night.